Hey, what's up, everyone? Well, today I'm going to talk about something tragic. It was just a week ago that I talked about, um, you know, a person who nearly assaulted three American IRL streamers in real life, IRL, and pretty much something tragic has happened in Japan yesterday, and that is that live streamer Mogami Ai was stabbed to death by a man while she was live streaming on the video streaming platform Fuwatchi. Fuwatchi is whowatch.tv, so it's the way you say in Japanese, Fuwatchi. The live streaming service has been around since 2015, and what makes it different from, let's say, like YouTube, is that you don't have to be part of you know, a live streaming agency uh, to make money, or once to become popular. Pretty much, you viewers can send comments anonymously, and the service's selling point is that anyone can do it for free. So it's a little bit different from YouTube, but she was a popular live streamer on that platform. So there has been video, which I watched, of not the actual tragedy, but it was after, when police picked up the smartphone. But what happened was nearly 100 viewers were watching the live broadcasts of the crime, and a reporter from the social affairs department of a major station said it seems that the video broadcast continued even after the woman was stabbed, and viewers seemed to have heard the tense voices of men who seemed to be police officers. When the man was arrested in the act, he said something along the lines of, "I had some trouble with my girlfriend," and when questioned, he said, "I didn't mean to kill her." The police are investigating, including whether the two knew each other. In the video, the woman had just started a project called 311, walking around the Yamanote line, and it was under her account, Masayan, MAA underscore Masayan. Um, no, Masayan is I'm sorry, is another Fuwatchi broadcaster who actually spoke to her the day before the incident, and he said, "Yesterday she consulted me about the Yamanote Line project, and I had just talked to her during a collaborative live stream. When the incident occurred, I was also streaming, and suddenly a listener commented, 'Mogami Ai was stabbed,' and at first I thought that must be a lie, and I didn't believe it, but when I watched her video, it was true, and I was shocked. She didn't seem to have any particular troubles or worries." So Mogami was a popular streamer with nearly 2,500 followers, and she started streaming around November 2022, and was very popular in a so-called chat style streaming style. The content of the videos is trivial. She would sit in home, talk, read comments from listeners, and people can tip. It's similar to what people do with Twitch, where they can donate. Um, there are regular fans out there who would, you know, contribute a lot more. So, Fuwatchi has a system called Streamer Grade, in which streamers are ranked on a 10-point scale according to the content of their usual streams and how exciting they are. Masayan said that she was in the highest rank. So, what was she doing? So, the 311 walk around the Yamanote line project that she was doing, um, pretty much depending on the amount of tipping from listeners, she would roll a dice, and depending on the result, she would do events such as collaborating with other live streamers, or moving forward from one station, or moving back another station. So yeah, you would ride the Yamanote line. Streamers can also earn rewards through the tipping system with paid items, and she was popular again with over 2,500 followers on Fuwatchi, close to 2,600. So here's are more details of what happened. At 9:50 a.m., police received reports that a woman had been stabbed by a man on the street in Takadonobaba, 300 meters southwest of JR Takadonobaba station. So I just want to let you know, I've been there many times, and there are a lot of restaurants. There's a burger place I go there. There's a like a anime style cafe that I've gone there before. Um, Panda, yeah, the Panda Cafe one, and then the other one is that it's a popular hotspot for college students or young adults to go drinking at nights. So it's actually a very, it's a very chill place that I've been to many times, and I've been to the station many times, and it's, it's just a spot where people go out, for drinking or eating and stuff like that. But during the day, it's a pretty chill place. Night, it's more of a nightlife place, but it's during the day. Again, it's pretty chill with a lot of shops, a lot of restaurants. Um, but yeah, they said that they found Mogami. She was stabbed in the head, neck, and chest. She was taken to the hospital and was confirmed dead 80 minutes later. Police recovered a 13-centimeter survival knife object and another knife he did not use in the crime. It is believed that the man attacked her while she was walking alone. A witness told Yomiuri Shimbun, "I heard a woman scream, 'Ah, help me.' When I looked outside from the second floor of my workplace, I saw a woman lying on the ground and a man nearby being held down by police." This one now is from Post 7. They said that I heard a person, the witness said, "I heard a scream and looked out the window and saw a man chasing a woman running in the opposite direction from the scene of the crime. After about 5 minutes, there was a commotion outside, so I went downstairs from the building and saw a person lying on the road covered in blood. A man wearing a black cap and a black jumper was standing silently next to her. The man only had a smartphone in his hand. The woman on the ground hadn't moved at all, so I assumed she had died. I was wondering if there was an accident, and then a police car showed up and took the man away." A male company executive who witnessed the scene from his office said, "I was working at my desk as usual just before 10 a.m. I suddenly heard a woman scream, 'Ah, help me.' The scream lasted about 20 to 30 seconds. At first, I thought it was a child making a fuss, but now when I think about it, it was the most desperate scream I've ever heard. After that, I opened the blinds and looked outside and saw the person's leg on the ground." Um, I'm not sure if he said the sweatshirt of the man, but I didn't see any knives or anything. But there was a man peering at the woman. There was a motorcycle nearby, and he seemed to be watching calmly, so I thought he might be trying to help. At first, I thought it might have been a traffic accident, but I had some guests coming over, so I didn't see the crime scene. Then, about 5 or 10 minutes later, a police vehicle arrived. A taxi driver, who happened to be passing by the scene immediately after the incident, also witnessed the shocking scene, saying, "I didn't see the stabbing, but the man was taking a video while he was kicking the woman who was lying on the ground covered in blood. He didn't say a word and just stood there in silence, which was scary. The woman didn't even move, let alone resist, so I thought she might be dead. The woman's hands were covered in blood." There are speculations about the hit. Okay, let's get to this real quick. Okay, about not long after this transpired, there are acquaintances of the assailant that came out on Twitter saying a few things. One, that he was reportedly schizophrenic. The second one saying that he didn't have much money. He was taking bank loans and giving to her, and he wanted his money back. So that was another thing that was mentioned. Again, police are currently investigating, and unfortunately, it's no one knows what's going on until you just have to wait until the police announce it. They usually do these press conferences and so forth. Something with something like this, I'm sure there's going to be some type of press conference, because there has been a lot of talk about YouTubers, IRL live streamers, but the worst kind. And unfortunately, these are the people who are causing problems when they go to Japan or other countries, and they've been getting a lot of video, a lot of I'm sorry, a lot of media coverage. Uh, I before going into VTube, I was actually a IRL streamer in Japan. I would do video. Never had any problems. Of course, a lot of people would come up, want to be in the video, to joke around. "Hey, are you doing it?" It's like, "Are you recording something for an adult video?" Or people are like, "Hey, I saw you on YouTube," or something like that. But personally, I I also started to a I guess you could say a former boss of mine, who is a well-known person in public relation, and I guess you could say press, not press, but more of the technical side of things. He uh, he was an advocate of not letting your identity known, and saying, if you, because of the way technology is, especially with AI and everything, you kind of want to get away from that, and not be so public. And especially if you're an IRL streamer, we have seen certain things have happened to various people, unfortunate tragedies, that has happened, and I talked about it in a video a few days ago. And we are seeing where people, if you post your location of where you're going to, unfortunately, people are going to be able to find you. When I was doing live videos throughout Japan, I would tell people, I would post on social media or something, not before. I would was very vague, but I would always post that, like after, or actually I would do live streaming while I was there, so it would be seen. They would know where you are. And I think if anything, I figured, that typically Japan was is a safe place. You really don't have to worry. But there are people now who are seeing the news coverage of nuisance streamers. And while there are people being praised, such as, the popular YouTubers who make wholesome content for children's and families and stuff like that, they're getting tired of people who are causing trouble. I was personally not a person who engaged in that. I was more of showing people areas of Japan, and I have videos right now of, on this YouTube channel where you could see that. But the thing is that, for me, going VTubing versus going, doing IRL streaming was a choice, and I knew that, yeah, I would have to start over. I would have to do things differently, and it's going to be a whole different experience. But you know what? I am glad I went towards VTubing. There are people who can IRL stream and produce content, going in different places and trying to. There are people doing crazy things just to get the viewership. For me, I was respectful about Japan. I was respectful to the elders. I was very respectful. Always helped out, and I kept mine. Yeah, I would do some videos at a lot of, hot spots that are happening throughout Tokyo or throughout Japan. But the thing is that I kept it real. I kept it pretty much respectful. But the problem are the people who are coming to Japan doing things that are disrespectful, trying to cause trouble, and you see this happening quite often now. It started with one, then two, and then all of a sudden, a lot of people are coming to Japan just to see how far they can get. And, because of a certain case, which you guys are probably familiar with, and how Japan didn't really do anything, that kind of invited people saying, hey, let's go to Japan and cause trouble. The way I look at it, I think what South Korea is doing right now, with that one nuisance streamer, is probably one of the best things to happen, because this is something that other countries can learn from and to prevent it from happening. But as for this case, this was a Japanese person who was doing live streaming, and these things don't usually happen. Tragedies like this don't happen, but unfortunately, we are seeing things happening that are terrible. You got Prime Minister Abe, who was assassinated. You had, people, live streamers, females, accosted during their streams. You have a lot of crap that's happening, and it's just unfortunate. In this case, unfortunately, though, even though it was Fuwatchi and not YouTube, people are going to automatically think it's YouTube live streamer. And whether or not she, that the victim, if it was true about the money situation, or whatever it was, the thing is that those are the things you got to be careful if you are going to be um, dealing with fans, especially fans who contribute money. You are hearing it right now. I think it was Catchy on Twitch, who said that she did not say when she was coming to America, what day. She did not say anything, but somehow, while coming from the Philippines and in a layover, there was a person waiting for her. And she was with her mom at the time, but she was like, how in the hell did this happen? And, there are people who are just getting information. They're finding ways to find people, and I think right now it's going to be an eye-opening situation, especially with what happened to Imiru, Valkyrie, and Senna, and now more streamers talking about what has happened to them. It's a scary world, especially with the mental health situation, and people who think that because they see you daily that you're pretty much their significant other or something like that. It's just I don't know. There are problems right now happening, and I think you're going to see this thing being discussed in Japanese media. You're going to see this being discussed, and what you see on the media right now is causing a lot of concern. I think John Dobb just said it right now on his video that he just posted, that his wife worries about him because while there are the benefits, the financial benefits and so forth of being a live streamer, for him he does again more towards travelers who are going to Japan and showcasing the beauty and the positive things of Japan, and also discussing the not so positive things of Japan. But the thing is that he keeps it real and he has been respectful. But the thing is that he discussed just today, just an hour or two ago, that his wife, when they were watching the video, his wife always has this concern just to be careful, especially because there are people out there that may not approve, and those things do happen, unfortunately, and you just have to be vigilant, and you have to really be careful about the information you post. And I think for me, yeah, I did a lot of live streaming, but the thing is that I did, I've met people while doing live stream, at events, but never, 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 never to the point where I would reveal where I'm going, or I mean, the live stream can show definitely a lot of situations, but the thing is, or where you're at. I think for her, you're doing Yamanote line. That's pretty much a common thing that everyone rides in Japan. The trains, and if she's at Takadonobaba, people can pretty much say, okay, you're going to be by the train, and then so forth, and they probably can spot her that quickly, and that's just the bad thing about it. You don't In Japan, you hear how safe it is, but unfortunately, you're dealing with some people there who are mentally ill, and you think about the Toho anime tragedy, where a guy who had mental health issues said that Toho was stealing, not Toho, it was Tokyo. Was it Tokyo? Let's see here, because now I'm just like going blind, right? I'm thinking Kyoto Animation. I'm so sorry, Kyoto Animation, not Toho. Toho's the one that makes Godzilla. My goodness, but yeah, Kyoto Animation. Um, when that tragedy happened, that was just unbelievable, and what the person did to burn the place, set the place on fire, and try to, you know, kill as many people he can, and he killed 36 in that arson attack. So the thing is that unfortunately, the mental illness situation, you hear about it all over the world. You hear about it, especially if you're in the West, in the United States, about certain crimes committed, um, especially like in New York, where people are getting pushed off the subway or the trains onto the tracks, stuff like that, or things that are happening at the stations there. But the thing is, in Japan, is just that there has to be an eye opener of mental health, and I think they're still behind. It's just not talked about enough, and I think this is something that needs to be talked about, and there has to be, you know, I think there has to be changes possibly. It's just there's a lot of things that are much different culture wise between Japan and and say the West. I talked about it before about, let's say, the homelessness, and I I would give out money to the homeless. There's a, like I said, an old woman I used when I came back home. I talked about this before. When I came back home to Ikebukuro, I would see her all the time. I would give her whatever change I had left over for the day, and usually it's several bucks. But the thing is, I would give it to her. Um, you know, give her all my yen, and the thing is that I had no problem with it, but a lot of Japanese had problem with it because there's a Japanese feeling that everyone is given an equal way to benefit and to grow and to become a better model citizen. But when someone becomes homeless, it's kind of they say let the programs deal with it. Do not give money out. Some people look at it as a disgrace to their society. And you compare it to the West, where you're seeing all the homeless problem right now, and I'm just like, oh my gosh, it's just ways of dealing with it, right? In I believe in the West, there are a lot of programs. It's always on the forefront of discussions about the homelessness, and and also how it's affecting even you know like economic locations, commercial locations. In Japan, you see it. You go to the station, a major station, like I said, Ikebukuro. You could be even Shinjuku. You'll see homeless in there. But the thing is, you'll see also mental illness. Whereas in the U.S. is prevalent um, because of meth or some other narcotics, or they have a actual mental illness. In the in in Japan, you just see it, and everyone just doesn't pay attention to it. They just keep on walking like up, and it's just more of you know like a stain on society, and it's just people just do not want to deal with it. They're like, hey, at least it's not us, and just move on. But yeah, in this situation with a real life streamer, and I don't know if this person was an anti fan or was a fan who was giving money and wanted his money back. I don't know. But the thing is that um, this is something that's going to be discussed for a long time, and unfortunately, I don't think this is the end of it. As again, we are seeing it happen in different parts of the country. We're seeing it happen all over the world. And again, I just discussed this last week of what happened with Emiru, Valkyrie, and Senna during their live stream. And yeah, there are videos you could see on Twitter about usually the video is the same about every all the chat was just responding like what's going on, what's going on, what's going on, and next thing you know they see the phone being picked up by the police and so forth. But I think it's just the realization that the live streamer that they were watching was just tragically murdered while on stream. that's just something you just don't expect in Japan. Never in my I never could I think that those things would ever happen, but at the same time, there are other things that happen, like Prime Minister Abe. You know, when you hear about assassinations, you hear some things that happened back in the early what 20s or 30s or 40s, but you don't think it happens in the modern age, but it happened. And unfortunately, I don't know. I don't know anymore. Okay, everyone, you all take care, and I will see you later. Wink, wink, and